Hey guys, how are you doing? Every year or so, I try to renew the tech stack that I use to create Android apps. This year, I'm thinking about moving to Jetpack Compose. I've been following Jetpack Compose development for quite a few years now. Every year, I kind of post the same question on Reddit, asking what the community thinks about Jetpack Compose. And because of the comments and the feedback I've seen so far, I think it might be possible that Jetpack Compose is ready to actually use in production. So I'm going to start learning about Jetpack Compose. The goal of these articles that I'm going to post is to try to figure out if Jetpack Compose is actually ready for production development, if it will be comfortable for all the people I work with to actually use Jetpack Compose, if it's scalable, if there are any bugs or known issues out there. So this is basically what this article is about. You're going to see that I'm going to do a quick experiment here. I'm going to create some UI with XML, and I'm going to try to recreate that same UI using Jetpack Compose. And we're going to see what happens. Let's open Visor here so you guys can see the app. So the app is super simple. We have this Hub activity here that has two buttons, and when we click on each of these buttons, it's going to take us to a new activity where we have several fragments. Each fragment using different use cases, going through different use cases. Um, so this screen that you see here is this XML main activity that we see here. I try to keep things super simple here. That's why you see I'm using find view by ID instead of using view binding. I try to keep things as simple as possible. This first page that we have here is in this package here, this first page fragment. Not much rocket science here. This is just a recycler view inside a coordinator layout. With the coordinator layout, we are actually able to achieve that behavior to hide or show the floating action button when we scroll, like this. Um, then on the second page here, we have a bit more complex behavior. We have a Google Map fragment here, and we have a couple of floating action buttons. Again, this is a coordinator layout here. If we go to the XML here, we're going to see that we have the fragment here. And then we have frame layout with both floating action buttons that we anchor at the bottom of the coordinator here. We also have this frame layout here that is using the bottom sheet behavior. So, when we click on this left floating action button here, we actually prompt this layout, this card view there. Again, all these done through XML with layout behavior and the coordinator layout. And, we can also dismiss this just by driving down that. And if we click on the right floating action button, we're going to use a bottom sheet dialog fragment to show this menu here. And that's the second page, the second fragment that we have here. And the third page, the third fragment that we have here is not much, just web view on a with a here web view with a floating action button on top. Every time something is loading with the WebView client, we show a loading layout here, shows a frame layout with a progress bar in the middle. So, if we go to images here, or if we go here, you're going to briefly see that loading layout there, right? That's the XML code that we have here. The experiment, the goal here was to recreate this exact same UI using Compose and see how difficult or how easy that will be. So yeah, let's go through the Compose code now. Okay, let's go through the most interesting UI now. Let's go through the Compose UI here. When we click there, we are going to go to this compose main activity that we have here. And I basically try to recreate all the same behaviors and all the same UI that we had on XML. You're going to see that here we have this screen here. We have a scaffold, and in that scaffold we initialize a bottom navigation bar. For each bottom navigation bar we have different composables. For the first page we have this UI here, that is what we have here. There is not much science here. This is just lazy column that we have here, and we have a floating action button. I reuse this dice floating action button, this floating action button, quite a lot through all the composables views for each page. Um, and yeah, just a lazy column. I had to implement some boilerplate code here to actually have the behavior to hide or show the floating action button. Um, yeah, I was not super happy about doing this because, with the coordinator layout, it's just one line in the XML and that's it. But again, not that much boilerplate code. So I think that's probably good enough. The second page that we have here, it was a bit more of a challenge. What we have here in the second page package, we have this screen, and what I'm using here is a bottom sheet scaffold that, as far as I understand, this is a scaffold, but it also has like a slot to show a bottom sheet here. So you see, if we click on the left floating action button here, we prompt that bottom sheet. The only thing that I was not able to achieve here is that, as you see, there's a white background here that is not transparent. I can swipe down this bottom sheet, but that's something I couldn't do. Make the background here transparent. I'm quite sure there must be some way there to achieve that behavior for sure. um, and then for the right floating action button here, I implemented this model layout here, this composable map terrain bottom sheet body that we have here, and it's using this model bottom sheet layout. As far as I understood, this will be the closest thing to a bottom sheet dialog fragment that we have in Jetpack Compose. And then finally, the third page that we have here with the web view. This was quite straightforward. The only thing that it was a bit of a challenge here is that I had to use the Android view composable to bridge to the old web view, right? I haven't gone through this yet, but as far as I understand, there's actually a third-party library that kind of created a composable to replace the web view, so we don't have to do this. So we don't have to bridge to the old web view using the Android web view composable. I'm going to be double checking that later, but yeah, so far this was good enough to implement that behavior. So the results here, well, you guys can read all that in the article there, but it took me just 3 hours to implement the XML UI that we have here. Everything that we have under the XML package, it was just 3 hours. You can probably see that most of the behavior that we have there on each of the fragments, it was done through XML with coordinator layout. Um, the composable UI, it took me longer. It took me between 3 and 4 days because I'm also learning about Jetpack Compose. But yeah, so far so good. I like the results, and I'm going to probably post more articles as I move forward and learn new things. So yeah, so just to quickly recap everything we have seen so far, I'm happy with the results from Jetpack Compose, the UI that we have created here. I'm not 100% sure if I will rely completely on Jetpack Compose to implement UI. I will probably keep both options on the table. So, if anyone wants to implement UI using Jetpack Compose, they can use composables. If they want to implement UI using XML, they can go and implement UI using XML. And yeah, there's quite a few things that I like about Jetpack Compose so far. I share all the information and all the things that I gone through here. So feel free to check all these links. I'm probably going to post a video doing a review of all these Jetpack Compose clone apps that we have there. I want to post a quick video comparing these Jetpack Compose clone apps to the actual app and see how they behave and all that. So yeah, so far so good. Please let me know if you have any comments, if you see any errors here, so I can correct that. If you know about any technology that is more up to date, please let me know so I can include that here as well. But yeah, thanks a lot. See ya.